welcome back to AFTV. You've joined us for the preview of Chelsea versus Arsenal in the first leg of the EFL Cup. 8 p.m. kickoff at Stamford Bridge. From Stamford Bridge comes a midweek delight. Blues and Gunners ready to scrap for the night. Yeah? Roseniers reign, Arteta's football-loving crew. Top of every competition. Arteta knows what to do. Yeah? No?
That's not too bad, but I've got one issue with that. Say Rosenior again.
No, I'm not going to say his name again. I can't get this guy's name right. I should call him Matisse. Just keep calling him Matisse.
It's not Rosenior, it's Rosenior.
All right, Rosenior, Liam, Matisse, whoever you want to be called. We've got a special guest. We've got Charlie from Chelsea Fan TV as well joining us. I think people that have watched this and the comments, you guys, we read all your comments. I think they prefer when they have someone from the rival team that we're playing to get a full insight. I know we used to do box to box, but having them on the preview, we get the full insight and you can feel the energy across the table and the channel. It makes sense. Got obviously Laurie joining me as well. We're going to start straight in. Yeah? Yeah? A draw? Would you take it now?
No. actually, you know what? I would. I would take a draw. I would.
Well changed.
I would take a draw.
A draw a good result for you or not?
If it was at the Emirates, yeah, but first leg, we've got to take something. So I probably wouldn't take the draw. We need to win.
Oh, this is a tough
Given
one.
that record at the Emirates, I would take a draw.
It's interesting. You know, I actually only researched this, obviously, in build-up to this game. I've been watching and been to the games that Arsenal played Chelsea over the past seasons, but the last time they actually beat us was 2021, which is...
Got a good record there.
But that's in all competition.
It's too long.
Yeah,
we used to beat you all the time.
I agree. No, he's right. Back when I was growing up, he's not wrong.
Same. All the time, we'd win. And now it's like, we can't beat you, whether it's Stamford Bridge, whether we're getting battered 5-0 at Emirates, we can't get close. I mean, we've got reasonably close in the league, in December, but yeah, mate, we're struggling now. You've definitely got our number, which is a bit of a turning of the tables.
Yeah, there was a time for me to set up a draw. Obviously, they haven't been us since 2021, but obviously the draw, you mentioned it. They won that draw.
They won 1-1
1-1, but but many Chelsea fans saw it as a win. And do you know what? The outpour and the outrage online did annoy me. However, to draw with 10 men, and how Arsenal were as well around that time, and what we are now as well, I actually understand the jubilation from them. I think it went a bit online. It just went a bit over the top, and some of the things that people were like, they were sticking fun at Arsenal because we drew the game. But I think it was.
I think it's a sign as well of how respected Arsenal are right now. So Chelsea got the draw, they celebrated, although they did go down to 10 men. So there's more credit with that. But Liverpool the other day when they drew with us, wow! I had Alex texting me at 9 in the morning and. Rare. So I guess that's a kind of backwards compliment, isn't it?
Do you know what? It's a great way to look. It's a song I like listening to.
If people get a draw off us and they're celebrating, then hey.
Yeah, because AGT, Doyle, all of them come around jumping in my face saying, you lot are shit. And I'm like, we didn't lose.
Yeah, exactly.
We actually weren't great, but we didn't lose, and rightly so. But I half understand the Chelsea, as much as it pains me to say, I do understand, kind of, it's a good result for them at that time. Yeah. But yeah, this game, it's a bit different. This is a semi-final. This is where it kind of gets, it does get more serious. It is a big game. Obviously, Liam's new in. He won his first game against Charlton 5-1. Just give me your thoughts. That's what I like over fan. Just on that game, it's hard to take too much from it because obviously it's a lower league club. It's a cup game. But what did you take from that game looking forward now to the Arsenal game?
I mean, I think it's hard to take a lot from it in terms of what it represents going into the Arsenal game. But I think what was pleasing was this is the first time this season where we made mass rotation against a lower league opposition and we looked quite comfortable because against Lincoln and Cardiff in previous rounds we struggled a lot and we had to throw the big boys on to try to sort of rescue a result and get us out of a bit of trouble. Whereas this one we made 8 changes and we looked quite comfortable. We looked quite comfortable, which is a real positive. Joel Hato played very well, probably his best game in a Chelsea shirt. And look, you got minutes for some fringe players who weren't playing an awful lot under Maresca. But in isolation, great start, but there wasn't really anything where you think, right, yeah, that's definitely going to stand us in good stead for Arsenal. He literally come in 2 training sessions, the setup and the tactics were pretty similar to what Maresca was previously doing, as you'd expect from having so little time with the group anyway. But this is where the real test begins now, this first game at Stamford Bridge, probably the biggest game he's managed in his career. I know he's managed against PSG in Ligue 1 with Strasbourg, but in terms of cup semi-final against a calibre of opponent like Arsenal, this is his biggest game of his career, and this is our biggest game of the season. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. Like, if he wants to win fans over, because there's obviously been quite a lot of criticism, a few doubters about his appointment, and rightly so in certain respects, and he understands that as well, and he knows to win the fans over, he just needs to get the results on the pitch. 100%. And so a win against Arsenal in a semi-final first leg, that would do a lot to win some fans over.
Yeah, right, obviously controversial, obviously him signing from Blueco and it being all in-house and all that. I understand certain fans' takes on it, but like you just said there, if you win, no one can. Like, it's the same with when Mikel Arteta. Some may disagree with me here, but same with Mikel Arteta signing for Arsenal. Like, it seemed like the cheap option. It was the cheap option. First managerial job is someone who's played for the club, so it was the easy option for the Cronkies to decide to sign and bring him on board. But I mean, at first, the FA Cup really actually saved him, if I'm honest. That kept him in the job for an extra prolonged time. But now we've kind of seen that he seems like the right man. You mentioned Jaheta obviously had a good game. Does he stay? Does anyone from that game against Charlton, did they prove enough? Because they made 8 changes, we made 9 changes. And a lot of our fans... 10 changes, sorry. And I'm coming to Laurie in a second about this. A lot of our fans are saying, I want to see this person start, I want to see this person start against Chelsea. Is there anyone you saw then against Charlton you say, well, they deserve to start now?
I don't think anyone that started that game, other than potentially Andre Santos, will start on Wednesday, because you look at the back line, it was Tosin and Badia, Shield centre halves. They're not going to play. Obviously, Cucurella will probably come back in from his ban. He was suspended for the Charlton game, even though Hato did well. Cucurella probably comes in. He's had reasonable success against Saka in the league games. Midfield, Caicedo's banned, so obviously there'll be someone. I mean, I don't know what he'll do, whether he puts Reece James in there, whether he drops Enzo into the pivot alongside Santos, or what he opts to go with. And then the front line, we had Buonanotte playing, we had Garnacho, Gittins and Mark Guiu. So that front four, I would expect probably all of that to change as well.
Oh, you've got players, you know.
Well,
I mean, I didn't say quality.
We got numbers.
I was going to say, I said you got players. I didn't say quality, but you got I didn't realise, okay, a lot of them won't start. That's incredible. And again, Laurie, I have to swing over to you then, because, like I said, I was interviewing fans after Portsmouth. Man, I said, Noni Madueke should start over Saka. There was a lot of talk, and I said, 3 people said that, by the way.
Is that because the Chelsea factor?
Well, there's that. But there's also fans saying people are turning on Saka a little bit at the moment. And do you know what, Charlie makes a great point. Cucurella and Saka, they have a good battle every time. If anything, Cucurella.
I know he got an assist at the bridge, but generally speaking, like I said last few times, he has had the better of him. Really, he has kept him reasonably quiet. I mean, as you say, Madueke, he's done reasonably well. I'm surprised at how well he's done. And again, sometimes when a player's got a point to prove going back to a former club, that can give them a bit of an extra edge in their performance potentially.
Well, that's it. That's kind of the facts there. I know Havertz is probably too soon, but
way too soon.
But fans said Noni should start over Saka and Jesus should start over Gyökeres in this game. So I don't. Where are you at? The changes that were made against Portsmouth, do you see them being implemented?
Well, we made 10 changes against Portsmouth. If we try and do that against Chelsea, to me that would be suicide. We have to take this game seriously.
Wow.
My man said, sorry, what was your name?
Charlie.
Charlie made a very good point. Chelsea's biggest game of the season. They're at home, you know what I mean? We need to match that intensity. We cannot go there and take this game for granted. For me, this is a massive game. I had a good-natured disagreement with my boy, Lee Judges. I said to him, and I honestly do believe this, that this game on Wednesday, for me, is more important than the Forest game at the weekend. Not to say that the Forest game's not important. We've got a little bit of margin for error in the Premier League. No, but what it is, the way I see it anyways, and some people will agree, some will disagree. We've got a little bit of margin for error in the league. We're 6 points clear.
However, just quickly to jump in, City play Man United this weekend as well, so that's why.
Well, all things being equal, we're 6 points ahead of them in the Premier League.
Okay.
But how important is the Carabao to you guys? Obviously, last season you made the semi-finals, went out to Newcastle. Like, I know you're going for League, Champions League, got good chance of both those trophies. Like, where does this rank in the importance? We've seen Arteta in the past kind of disregard these cup competitions. Like, is this important? I know it's pretty important for the fans, but how important for Arsenal as a club is it? Because I feel like
it should be very important.
There's a bit more, Chelsea might be a bit more hungry for this. There's more. This means more to our season than it potentially means to your season.
That will infuriate me. Yeah? If I see the players, which they've been doing recently, half-assed a little bit the first half of games because they might be trying to save for the weekend, which Laurie mentioned, or they're not taking this cup seriously, that will rattle me because look, last time I wasn't born when we last won. It's 1992-93 season. We last won this trophy. again, everyone has said, you win this, this is not fact, it can kick you on for more silverware, success breeds more success. That's not always true, because I've seen teams that have won this and only won this in seasons of past. But for Arsenal, we can't, turn our nose, in my opinion, turn our nose up at any silverware, because the FA Cup was the last one in 2020. And on top of that, we should be taking every competition serious. I've seen Arteta take majority of this season, we're top of Premier League, in every cup competition. And he's rotating, but not massively rotating. And like I said, last time we won it was Sheffield Wednesday.
If he goes down the road of heavy rotation, I accept one or two players might be rotated. So, for example, I would allow Kepa to start in this game. He's been the cup goalkeeper. I would allow him to start. But I don't want to see.
That's the big thing as well. It's the same with us.
No, but I don't want to see too much rotation, because by design, you're basically saying you don't value this competition.
That's fair, but Kepa and Raya, you need Raya's up.
I think Kepa's done well in the competition so far. Don't forget, he saved the penalty against Palace while we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he needs to be rewarded.
But it's always a tough one with the goalkeepers, isn't it? Because Jorgensen's been our cup keeper, because we've only played like Lincoln, Cardiff, and then we had Wolves away as well. So Jorgensen's played in all of them, but when you get to a semi-final, you need your best players out. So it's finding that balance between, do you stick with the fact, you know what, this is the cup goalkeeper, we've done this, we're going to stick with it, or do you think, you know, it's a bit harsh, but this is a top level, we need our best players out on the pitch. And Sanchez is obviously better than Jorgensen, but it's that kind of trade-off with,
I think sometimes
how do you balance it out?
Yeah,
keepers are important.
Keepers
are very important.
I think you've got to look at the levels, the disparity between the two. So, OK, Kepa's not as good as Raya, we all agree with that, yeah. But the drop in levels is not as much, as with respect, as it would be Sanchez and Jorgensen.
Yeah, fair.
And Kepa has played well. Like I said, he saved the penalty, which got us through to this stage. I would retain Kepa, but I'm talking further up the pitch. I'm hearing people say, let's rest Declan. No. We want our best.
No way.
We want Saka, we want Declan, we want Odegaard. We want these guys to play. We want to win this game, at the very least, not lose it. So, yeah, for me, this is a mega important game. Yeah. As you alluded to, Cecil, the Carabao Cup, if we win that, if we go on to win it, because by getting a result against Chelsea, by no means we're going to win it. But you know what I'm saying, we want to get through to the final. So this is a massive game, and we should approach it as such.
I mean, because you could look at it, right, and think you've got two legs. Arsenal, in theory, could play their strongest team in the first leg, try and put the game to bed, and then you've got that second leg where you can rotate the players in that one. I mean, for us, we need to go for it at home, but we also need to be careful not to overcommit, and then we're out of it in the second leg, and the second leg's almost void. So you've got to find that balance between, we need to take a result to the Emirates, but we also need to make sure that we're still in with a chance of going through in the second leg. So you can easily commit a load of men forward, trying to push for more goals to take a lead, get hit on the counter, and then you're out of the tie, and the second leg's almost null and void. So
what is the scoreline then that puts you out of it, so you think, in this first leg?
I'll be honest, if we're 2 goals down in the first leg, if we go over 2-goal deficit to the Emirates, I think it's done. Yeah. I'll be honest. We need to be bare minimum. If we're 1 goal behind, we've probably still got an opportunity.
I think you do.
We need to be level, or really we got to be taking a 1 or 2 goal lead there for us to be really comfortable in that situation.
Laurie, when I spoke to lead judges, and funny we keep bringing them up, but against Liverpool, he was infuriated that Arsenal was wanting to keep the 6 points gap, didn't go for really to make it 8 points. Going to Chelsea, going to Stamford Bridge on Wednesday, do Arsenal do that? Do they go gung-ho and go for it?
No, they don't need to be gung-ho. I mean, listen, I can understand Lee's frustrations, but with that game against Liverpool, I think a lot of people, to be fair, are over-egging that pudding, man. Come on, bro. We didn't lose, we didn't concede a goal, it was a dead game. You get them every so often. We're unbeaten at home still. Yeah. 6 points clear. There's no need for people to start panicking or getting overly emotional about what, in essence, was a bit of a dead game.
Yeah.
This, however, is very different. This is a cup semi-final, and we should approach it with the seriousness it deserves. Now, that being said, if we go there and get a draw, I personally would be happy with that, because I know we're very strong at the Emirates. Yeah. Not to say that the tie's done, because we have to respect Chelsea. They're a very good team. And the thing that worries me about Chelsea as well is that we've got to talk about this. The new manager sounds to me like a very impressive guy, and he's going to be mega hyped up for this game. Like, it's his second game.
Yeah, first at home, yeah.
So you can imagine the intensity with which they're going to come at us. We need to match that. This is going to be a difficult game.
Voice of reason there, Laurie. I'm going to come to Charlie after this. So I need to let people know as well in the comments. I need to know, is a draw a good result as an Arsenal fan? I'm still battling because of the record. We've beaten Chelsea. Last time we lost, like I said, is 2021. Like that's a long time. Should you just show your dominance and just go over there and win the game, or
you make it sound so easy?
I know. It's not
that easy.
No, I know.
It's tough.
But we could even beat them with 10 when they had 10 men.
No, I trust me. I'm aware of that because I say Arteta doesn't really have, in my vision of Arsenal, he doesn't have that mindset to go and do what we just said. Go for it. He's going to play the controlled, try and just suffocate them possession-wise and just kind of see out the game. But I don't know if fans want that sort of Arsenal to turn up.
We know what
that's a smart Arsenal to do and turn up. But I just
one
don't
thing
know
about Arsenal is
if fans want
you
that.
know what Arsenal are going to do. We do the same thing with
we do.
Unless, of course, we came up against Liverpool, who were able to nullify us, and they had more of a ball than we did. And now, I've not seen that at the Emirates for a long time.
Yeah, no,
the team come to the Emirates and pass the ball and keep it like they did.
That
being said, though, we didn't lose, did we? So we know what we're going to do. We play a very controlled possession type game, but Chelsea play a kind of similar
they do.
style.
And they got quality players. And Charlie, I need you to give me the insight here because obviously I believe there's no Levi Cole, there's no Lavia, no Caicedo, which I think
he's suspended again. Yeah,
which must be as a Chelsea fan that must be
frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating. Like to be fair, I mean, the red card obviously in the league was fair game. He's missed time the challenge. You have to just take that one. And then this one's obviously
sarcastic clapping.
But that was against Cardiff. Yeah. So just little things like that where you got even coming from Caicedo. I know he's still young, but he's got experience. It's not just young players making mistakes; it's experienced players making the mistakes as well. And Cucurella obviously experienced player, the red card at Fulham, letting us down big time there as well. So, look, Caicedo missing is massive. Look, if Maresca was in charge, I think you know exactly what we'd see. You'd see Reece James in the midfield alongside probably Enzo Fernandez, because Maresca didn't really seem to have that trust in Andre Santos. But Rossinia, having worked with Santos at Strasbourg, he was kind of the star man when he was there at Strasbourg. I think he's going to get a little bit more trust. You might see him in there alongside Reece James and whatnot. For me, I'll be majorly disappointed if it's not our strongest team available out in this game.
What is your strength? That is the big question here, right? That is the big question I need to know as an Arsenal fan. When I say what is your strength, is it no Caicedo, I wouldn't say it's the midfield now. Not ours, we have Declan Rice, Odegaard and Zubimendi there. It's probably our strongest. And that's probably where we'll look to break out and create opportunities. That, to me, is our strength. Some would say the wings, the Sakas and all that, but some would say defence. There's quite a few strengths, but for Chelsea, where are you hurting us? Where's your strength? Where do you see as a fan, okay, this is what I'm relying on? Is it magic from Cole Palmer?
It's tricky because the goal that we scored against you at the Bridge in the league was a set piece anyway. So, we don't... I don't want to say we don't have strengths because I don't think the team is that bad, but when you sort of look at it, despite all the money spent, despite all the players we've signed, you're still in a position where really you are looking for Cole Palmer to try and do something, to make something happen, which sounds mental, but you look at players like Liam Delap, who's still young, inexperienced, shouldn't really be in a position at this stage where he's leading the line. Joao Pedro has been in and out of the team. He's been a bit He's been a bit hit and miss, but he's not a 9. You've got Pedro Neto, who is so frustrating. Yes, he's producing numbers, but his actual wing play is distinctly quite average at times in games. Nacho and Gittins on that left side aren't really giving you anything. The one person who's given us a lot this season when he's played is Esteval, the young Brazilian kid. He's been very, very good. He was good when he came off the bench on Saturday against Charlton, but again, he's not been trusted an awful lot in the big game so far.
Will he start?
I would hope so, because he played a half against City. He didn't play at all against Fulham, and he played about 15-20 minutes against Charlton on Saturday. I'd like to think he starts. Him and Neto is probably our best wing combination now. Palmer has been struggling. He's obviously had this groin issue and pretty much missed the whole first half of the season. But since he's come back, he's grabbed a couple of goals, but it looks like that injury's still bothering him. He doesn't seem to be playing with that sense of freedom. He seems to be struggling. It's almost one of them where, when a player comes back and they're desperate to make an impression, it's almost like he's trying a bit too hard. And so I look at it and I sort of think, I don't really know where the threats are. And that kind of sounds mad when you talk about the players that we've bought in and the money we've spent, and you're struggling to pinpoint threats other than Cole Palmer and maybe an 18-year-old Esteval trying to do something.
That's why I had to ask you. Do you know what? I half thought the same. I was like,
Yeah, that's true,
I look at Cole Palmer, I'm like, that's probably the one I'm worried about. Why? But like you said,
he has that ability to rise to the occasion.
But after all that money spent, they shouldn't be still looking at that. That shouldn't still be the outlet. And that's not even a consistent. And not to say, listen, Cole Palmer's a phenomenal player. Let's not get it twisted. But again, that's like me saying all the money we've spent so far under Arteta, and I'm just looking at Bukayo Saka. At times, I have done that at parts in the season, but going into this game, like I just mentioned, defence, midfield, there's strengths across the board, in my opinion, for Arsenal.
But those players, your likes of your Cole Palmers, people like that, Saka on our side, those are big game players. Those are the types of players. They'll be looking at this game and thinking, yeah, man.
Going to step up.
Bring it on.
Well, I mean, we need him to do something. I mean, Reece James will be important as well, whether he plays right back or midfield.
Well, when we played in the corresponding game, he was man of the match.
Yeah, he was midfield. Yeah, he was man of the match.
He was quality.
Yeah, he was man of the match against you boys in the midfield, and then we went to the Etihad, and I think Enzo Fernandez actually got the man of the match, but Reece James could have easily got it. He goes into midfield and he looks better. Doesn't look out of place with Declan Rice, and he doesn't look out of place alongside Rodri. So we've got a player there who can contribute in two different positions, but. Yeah, I'm struggling.
We did pretty well against Esteval in the corresponding game.
Yeah.
We got subbed off, didn't he?
Yeah, he was taken off at half-time. So, I mean, we've got a few players that can do a little bit here and there and can produce moments of magic. And the one thing we did do under Maresca was, in the big games, we always competed. We didn't always win, but there was that set-up. It would be Reece James in the midfield, you have Gusto overlapping as a full-back. You knew exactly what the front four was going to be, and you knew that we'd compete in the big games. Yeah. Under Rosinha, you don't know if he's going to slightly tweak the set-up, and you don't really know what he's like in big games, because we're not seeing him really manage any big games. So it's kind of going into that unknown, whereas with Maresca, you were a bit more certain that at a bare minimum, you were competing.
Mad.
I reckon just off vibes alone, Chelsea are going to be a real threat this week.
Well, we're going to close by doing score predictions, but before we do score predictions, that's what I want you to do, Charlie. I mean, state your claim for this season. I see a lot of Chelsea fans don't like to get in the whole top fours or then battles of race or talk about that. What do you see this new Chelsea now with Rosinha? What do you see happening? What do you want? What is your goal? What are you saying? This is a must as a Chelsea fan.
For the rest of the season?
Yeah, or have you written off this season?
No, the season's not written off because somehow, despite being 1 win in 9 in the league, we're still only 3 points off 5th. So we're still in with the Champions League qualification is a bare minimum. And that sounds, terrible saying that as a Chelsea fan, given the things that we should be striving for. But Champions League football is a bare minimum. I said at the time, when he was appointed, for me, you have to, the objective at the start of the season was Champions League football and a trophy or whatever. Yeah. That shouldn't change because the manager's gone halfway through the season. So he's under the same pressure, in my opinion. You need to deliver Champions League football. And if it was down to me, if you don't get the Champions League football, you've not delivered, and therefore someone else has got to come in. We're not starting a project again. Everyone talks about the Chelsea project. There doesn't seem to be a Chelsea project right now. So, but as Laurie mentioned earlier, he comes in, he says the right things, he speaks very well. He's obviously been studying certain managers' press conferences. You can feel there's a bit of the Mourinho about the way that he speaks. Obviously, he's not got the CV to back it up yet, but for someone that speaks that well and gets you on side and you want to like him, I just hope that he can walk the walk to back that talk that he brings as well. But so for me, it's got to be Champions League qualification and then a domestic cup. Champions League. What will be in that. Let's see. You never know, because the 2 Champions Leagues that we've won have been in the most unexpected circumstances. So I'm not saying we're going to win it again, but let's not fully discount it. And then we need a domestic cup. We've lost our last 6 or 7 Wembley finals on the spin. No domestic trophy since 2018. So this is our best chance, I think, the Carabao, of getting our hands on a trophy. So for me, Champions League football bare minimum, and you've got to try and bag a domestic cup.
Interesting. Maddie says that manager changed. His thing his goal doesn't change. Don't care if you've got a new manager, new players, whatever. You have to get Champions. It's
the same squad. That's part of the reason why I was brought in, because he knows the model. Yeah. The style of play is very similar, so the transition is not a big tactical change, and so you shouldn't be ripping up your season objectives halfway through. It's not like, Maresca's gone and they've bought in an Amorim and we're suddenly going to 3 at the back, which we've never played before. It's the similar style of play, similar formation to a certain extent. You have to come in and hit the ground running. He's always spoken about, I don't just want to be a Chelsea manager, I want to be a winning Chelsea manager. So you need to come in now and you've got to find a way to get more out of this group and find a way to get us into the Champions League, because we can't miss out on that. It will be unacceptable.
State his claim quickly as an Arsenal fan.
He made some very good points.
He does make some good points. State your claim quickly. We're at the top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League, in the semi-final of the League Cup, through now to the 4th round of the FA Cup. What for Arsenal, and then we'll go score predictions off this?
It's very simple for me. It's the approach. It's the approach. And this is why I was saying, when I'm hearing Arsenal fans talking about radical rotation. I don't want to see that, because if you do that, then basically you're inviting Chelsea to get one over on us. We've got to go there with the right approach, with the right team. And if we do that, I'm confident we can get at least a draw.
What's your claim for the end of the season? Do you expect some silver?
Absolutely.
You have to. You can't have no silverware in the cabinet.
Absolutely.
So you're stating that, a trophy has to be won. Is there a specific one in your mind that you're saying?
It's an absolute no-brainer. I mean, the title is the one we've got to win.
Okay.
I do think we will win it.
Okay, good.
I absolutely do. I think 6 points clear at this stage of the season, with a lot of our most difficult games, the away games, already behind us.
Players returning as well.
There is absolutely no reason. It would have to, put it this way, for us to not to win this, honestly, it would be an implosion of.
Don't say it's happened before. Yeah, that's right.
I seen a little graphic doing the rounds of top at Christmas conversion rate to titles. Was it 0 out of 4, 0 out of 5?
We've hit the record for not winning it. Yeah, trust me.
But I mean,
I know about that as well, by the way.
The mere fact that that's happened in the past should be why it doesn't happen now. And when you look at the depth of the squad, where we are, we absolutely have to win the title. But I would say as well that this Carabao Cup is very important for me. We spoke about it off air, Cecil. The first major domestic trophy of the season. Mm-hmm. To me, this is more important than the FA Cup for me, because what this does, if we win this, when's the final? What?
Late February, early March. Early March, yeah.
March 16th, I believe.
You imagine the momentum push we'll get from that.
March 16th.
Especially when you consider that this is a competition that, let's be honest, man, we performed poorly in. We've not won it since 1993, before you were born.
That's
you know
mad,
what I mean?
93.
So,
Madness, bro. Honestly.
We need this, man. And if we get this, and don't forget, there's some very good teams still left in it.
Well, Man City,
Chelsea
Newcastle,
in it. Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's tough.
Even if we beat Chelsea, it's by no means certain we're going to win it. But if we do win it, we could tap ourselves on the back and said, first trophy of the season, we got that done. We're a serious outfit.
That gives you momentum for sure.
Exactly.
See, we've had it in the past with Mourinho. You come in, you win that Carabao Cup, and it gave us the springboard to finish off the title. Like the people think to underestimate how important getting that first trophy under your belt is, and the confidence boost it would give Arsenal to put. I'm not saying that Arsenal can't win the league, they don't win the Carabao Cup, but the momentum it gives you, the motivation, and because there's the belief that this group, we can actually win, because this group hasn't shown that they can win yet. So if you get, it doesn't matter the size of the trophy. It's about what winning that trophy represents, and to get that first one under your belt as a group is big.
It's massive.
You were there as well when we lost that semi-final. Remember how we felt?
Well, the Newcastle
when we went out
one.
to Newcastle, we were gutted.
That pissed
Even people admitted to me, they said, you know what, I never knew I would feel this bad after going out in the Carabao Cup.
Some people said, but it's a blessing in disguise because there's so many games, and maybe
it wasn't a blessing.
It may be able to.
There was no
less
blessing.
games we can focus on the league. BS. Anyway, it's time. Score prediction time. We'll let the guests go first. Go on then, Joe. Talk to us.
Do you know what? I'm gonna back the boys. Rossinia's first game at the Bridge.
Yeah.
The atmosphere should be good. Points approved. I'll go for a narrow 2-1 win.
Laurie, talk to me. 2-1 win.
You know what, Cecil? I do have a sense of nerves for this game. You know what I mean? Because
it's unlike you.
But if you look at the intangibles, they're all there for them, man. They're at home.
Yeah.
New manager bounce,
Biggest
so-called. They did well against us previously with 10 men. They'll be thinking that they can win this. The atmosphere is going to be great. Really looking forward to the game. However, I do think that Arsenal mentally are a different outfit this season. I think if we play the strongest available team with a few rotations accepted, I think we can get a draw. I'm going to go for a Desmond, 2-2.
Wow.
In a very entertaining, high-intensity, back and forth game.
He's worried. A draw from Laurie is interesting.
No, but if we get the draw, then I'm confident
that's
we can.
That's all right for you. You're at home, second leg, so you could kind of get away of not winning this one.
I don't want.
But you don't want that mentality.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't want to think like that.
No, I'm saying it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be ebb and flow.
I know your justification, but you said okay. I actually think it could be 1-0 either way, which is again not as confident either, but. It could go 1-0 either way, but I'm obviously going to back my team as
1-0.
1-0. I think just it's going to be.
If we get 1-0, even better.
I don't see many.
Game done if you get 1-0.
Don't see many goals. I don't see it being. I think our defence is very strong. I think we'll be quite, focusing on just not conceding. So it'll be quite a bit of a shutout. And
I think it will start cagey, but given how much the two teams won it, I think a fight will break out. Put it that way.
Right. Yeah, we got to start on the front foot.
All right. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's preview. Chelsea versus Arsenal, Wednesday, on the 14th at Stamford Bridge. 8 p.m. kickoff. in the first leg of the semi-final of the League Cup, the Carabao Cup. It's a big one. Thank you to Charlie as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
it's
for
a
having me
pleasure.
on. Cheers.
Please go. It will all be in the description below. Please go and you're Arsenal fans that watch this, you might not. But it's always good to hear from other teams' fans, and he works for Chelsea Fan TV. It's actually
before we
channel,
go, what's
so
the Chelsea's manager's name again?
Yeah, announce
Full
it.
name.
Pronounce it.
His name's Liam Rosinia.
Nearly there. Actually, yeah,
that sounds all right.
Possible.
That's all right. That's respectable.
We're going to go with that. We're going to go with that. But like I said, make sure you go check out Charlie. He's got amazing things on his platform, on his channel as well, and you'll be able to get an insight of what's going on over at Chelsea. If you want to, please like the video on your way out. Hype the video as well. Give it a little bit of a hype. We want to push it across the algorithm. So please do that. Like the video on your way out, like I mentioned, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Love.